All right, welcome back everybody. We are going to get this thing started here. What I need you to do is, if you're watching the video on my site, preeminentproductions.com, I need you to go down to the bottom of the page here where it says don't miss the next video. Make sure you're notified. Go ahead and put your email address in there so I can send you the toolkit. That way you can follow along with this video. Um, it's going to be a lot easier if you can follow along with the template. If you don't want to yet, that's fine. If you want to just kind of watch the video, feel free to do that. But definitely, if you're interested in getting the full template and all the files, go ahead and put whatever email address you want it sent to here and send it my way, and I will send that over to you. So what we're going to be doing is, starting out, we're going to do a very simple page just like this. So it may not look like much yet. We're going to extend this. We're going to be adding web fonts, make it look nice and pretty with fonts. Right now it's just set up to use whatever fonts that are on the user's computer. So we're going to change some fonts. I'm going to show you how you can use Font Squirrel to embed some really nice fonts. We're going to use MailChimp to power this little form here. And we're going to add some share buttons that drop down, Twitter and Facebook share buttons here. This section down here is optional. It's just something I usually do. You don't have to use it if you don't want. So, don't worry if it looks really plain. We're going to do more things with it. But also remember, I've seen some very boring, plain landing pages convert like crazy. So it's not all about, wowing the user either. It's probably going to depend on the audience, what your product is, so it'll vary. But anyway, so here's our simple page. And again, if you're on my page, just make sure that you enter your email address, and I'll send you over the toolkit. If you're on YouTube, make sure you come over to preeminentproductions.com/videos and just click on one of the videos, and right down at the bottom will be the area, and I'll send you the toolkit so you can follow along. Okay, so when you get the email from me, you're going to download your landing page toolbox. You're going to unzip it and open it up. And inside you've got an image folder, JavaScript folder, CSS folder, and our one and only HTML file. It's the index file. It's the only page of our site, since we're just making a landing page. And we're going to go ahead and open up this index file in whatever code editor you've decided to use. In the intro video, we kind of went over that, and we talked about how there are many options. If you're still stuck on what to use, let me know. I'll help you out. I use Sublime Text 2, which is already opened up here. Here is the index file here, opened up in Sublime Text, and you'll notice there's not much to it. This is it. Even without condensing this down, with all these gaps in the code, it's only 77 lines. And like I said here, that's it. It really is that simple. Yeah, this little page can do wonders for you. If you've never dabbled in HTML before, this probably looks a little overwhelming. I promise it's not hard. It's very simple, and you'll be able to use this over and over and over again. So up at the top, we've got some PHP code. Don't run away. Don't get scared by that. It's just telling the browser to deliver a compressed version of this file to the user if it's available. And in another video down the line, we're going to make it available. I'll show you how you can compress the file. And all this is doing is telling the browser to, hey, use the gzipped version. If you want to read more about that, it's right here. The next line was required, the doc type. Got to have a doc type. And it used to be, in the days past, it used to be this long line way out here of all kinds of different, I couldn't even tell you anymore. It's been quite a while now, because it's been condensed down to just this. Exclamation point, doc type HTML, just like that. Just know that you need to have that. The next line, line 3, we're going to kind of skip over that for now. Just know we're coming back to it. It's regarding Internet Explorer. And word of warning, our landing page is not ready for Internet Explorer yet. We will be coming back to that. We will tackle Internet Explorer to make sure it looks good in Internet Explorer. There are certainly issues with Internet Explorer, so just know we'll be coming back to that. This is going to be good to have, though, to fix it. The next section is the head section of the page. Is another kind of required area, and it's just simple head, and then it ends right down here with /head. This is where it ends. And within the head, we're going to need the meta character set. We're going to need the meta name viewport. We're going to need a title, which I guess isn't completely necessary, but I would suggest having a title for your page. And you can put whatever title you want right here, and it'll show up at the top of the browser when you're on your site. Line 10 here, the next line is linking to our CSS file. And the CSS file tells the browser how the page should be styled, how it should look. So we're going to be jumping into CSS in another video. I have it open here, and we're linking this page here to this CSS file is what we're telling the browser. And we'll be coming back to CSS in another video, but just know you will need to link your page to a CSS file. You need to have that. If not, you're just going to have a plain page with no styles. So moving along, we're going to be opening up the body tag. This is opening up here, and if you kind of scroll down all the way down, you'll notice that the body ends here. And again, it's gotta make sure you have that little / in there. That means the body has ended. Then our HTML is ended, and we're done with the page. So don't forget about those closing tags. Sometimes that can get you. So obviously within our body, we want our content. So we'll get into the content here. Now, for the full screen background image, over here, this guy here. Now, you might not want a full screen image. That's fine. You can use, colors, textures. You don't have to have a full screen image at all. It's going to be up to to you. But for this video and for this instructional course, we're using full screen images, and there's many ways to skin a cat, of course. I'm going to show you one way here, and that's by putting this image right inside our body, and we're going to tell the browser to use this particular image here. If you notice, it says source equals img / blur bg. Now, I'll show you, if you open up your landing page toolbox file again, your folder. So we will come over here, close these out. We'll open this back up. And so we're telling the browser to come all over here to the image folder and to find blur-bg.jpg. So I'll show you. Once again, what we're doing here is telling the browser, hey, here's the image you want to use. Source equals img, that's the folder, and then use it within the image folder. We need to use blur-bg.jpg. Now, right here, we've given it an ID of full screen background image. So within our CSS, once we jump into CSS, I'll do it quickly. We're not going to get in, too deep into CSS yet, but I will show you. We need to go find the ID of full screen background image. Let's go over here, and we will look for full screen background image, which is right here under basic styles. So full screen background image, here it is. We are going to give it some styles. We're going to tell it a minimum height, the width, position, and we'll get into all that, but basically That's what that's doing here. And again, I've written notes for most things. So if you're not watching, if you come back to this and you're not watching the video at the same time, I've kind of giving you some notes. And like this says, this sets your full screen background. Don't forget to change this out to your new desired image. If you want a full screen image, if you decide you're not going to be doing that, you can just get rid of this. No problem at all. Or just kind of, comment it out, and so it won't be used. Which a good way to comment is if you go like this. We've just commented it out. So this won't even be used. If you didn't want to use the background image, but you kind of want to keep it in your template for maybe next time you want to use it, you can just kind of comment it out for now. And then say the next time you're doing another landing page and you want to use it, just get rid of that first part there and it's back. So anyway, that is kind of the general part, and then we're gonna kind of jump into the foundation, the Zurb foundation framework. And Zurb foundation kind of helps us make sure that our page stays responsive. It responds to the user's device. So if we go back over here, so if you notice, if you take the corner of this browser here, the Safari browser, whatever browser you're on, if you kind of start going back and forth, you'll notice that the content responds to the changes. That's what Foundation is going to help us do. It makes it just quick and easy. So we're not, doing the same thing over and over. We're just going to drop, it's already part of our toolbox. I've already got it included. The Zurb Foundation is already included in your CSS file in your kit. In the CSS file, there's a section that says Foundation responsive framework styles are below. Don't change until you're comfortable with how it works. So don't be alarmed. It's already part of it. You don't even have to touch any of this. Just know it's going to be working for us. It's going to make sure that our page is responsive and looking pretty well on most devices. It does a great job. So don't be afraid to talk about Foundation. It's big. I mean, they offer a lot. It's a whole framework. It's more than just responsive. They offer a lot of things. When you download it, you can pick to download different portions of it. So once you're comfortable with it, you can come back and kind of download it yourself and see how what all they offer. But just know I've pretty much included the basics in your CSS file here. There's a little more than we need down towards the bottom, just because we're going to be doing a couple things with it in a later videos. But I've kind of gotten rid of the unnecessary things for now. So just know it's included. Just know that we are going to be, relying on Foundation. It's going to be working in the background. If you want to go, kind of read up on it yourself, it is foundation.zurb.com.